Hi, this is Stacy from Stacy Rabbit Jewelry Designs. Today I'm here to do a quick tutorial on making some earrings using the Sam's Bead Box Emerald City. And I will bring this closer. So if you face the earring the right way. This is the earring that I'm going to make. It's pretty simple and doesn't require too many pieces. It's pretty quick and lots of fun. So let's set this guy over here out of the way. So you will need these briolettes or another briolette of your choosing. I used these crystals in the top part. One of these check glass flowers. And I also, not included in the Sam's bead box, I'm using a couple of bronze size 8 seed beads. You'll also need a set of ear wires. And then the only other thing that you'll need, I am using some 22 gauge para wire. I like para wire. It kind of is in between a craft wire and a German style wire to me. And you will need 2 pieces. This one's probably about 1.5 inches, and this one's maybe 3-ish inches. You won't need too many tools either, which is always nice. You will need a pair of round nose pliers, a flush cutter, and Zaran is my personal favorite for their price point. And then last but not least, you'll need 2 sets of pliers. I have 2 chain nose pliers. That's just my preference. Let's get down to business. So I am going to start with the briolette. So the first thing I'm going to do is just warm this wire up a little bit. And I'm just running it through my fingers. That makes it a little bit easier to bend. And so probably gonna slide it a little bit less than halfway because one of these pieces is gonna be pretty short. And I'm just remembering here how I did this piece so I can make sure I do it the same here. So you are going to bend both sides of the wire. That was fun. Up so that they cross at the top. And you can just adjust that till you like it. I have it pretty close to the top of the briolette, but you want to make sure it's not like too close or the briolette won't move. So you are going to come in with your chain nose pliers, and these are about the same length. If you have a longer one, I usually say bend the longer one off to the side at a 90-degree angle like that. And then you are going to take the other wire and bend it up, and these two should form a 90-degree angle, so it should look like a side of a square. And then you're going to need 2 pliers. So you're going to come in, and I use my non-dominant hand for this. And you're going to grab the piece below where they cross. Oops, I am off the screen. So you're going to grab this piece below where they cross. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this wire. You can do that one of 2 ways. You can do it either by hand, or you can use another pair of pliers to help you, which is what I do. I do not have the best hand strength. So I'm going to do like 3 or 4 wraps here. And then you are going to grab your flush cutter and cut that piece off. You are going to use your chain nose pliers to tuck in that tail. And then I've got a little gap that's bothering me. It's very small, but it's still bothering me. And you can use your chain nose pliers. And what I did is I just grabbed my stack of coils and squeezed them gently, and that little gap is gone. And then I am just going to finish this with a simple loop. There's a bunch of different ways of doing these sort of cheating briolette wraps, but this is how I personally like to do them. So again, this is just a simple loop. So bend that at a 90-degree angle. Come in with your flush cutters and cut off that extra bit. And now we are going to switch over to our round nose pliers and just grab that at the very end and just roll it back. One of my biggest ahas with wire is I'm always like in a hurry and I'm like rushing around doing stuff, but I find if I do things more slowly with wire, it actually works better. Wire doesn't like to be like yanked around really fast. That's when I find it fights me. So we have the bottom piece of our earring done. And then we are just going to make the top part. So you probably have heard me say this before. One of the most important things on a simple loop is start with a flush end. So cut it flush end facing the wire. And then you are going to grab the wire, I don't know, centimeter and a half down. I don't want too big of loops. And create a bend in the wire at 90 degrees. We are going to do what we just did to finish the briolette using our round nose pliers. And we are just going to roll this piece back. See? This is like kind of crappy looking. So what I'm going to do is the following. It's just like kind of, so I'm going to kind of straighten that out with my hand and my pliers. So that looks a lot better. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what direction these things are facing. So I can do this right the first time. They are both facing the same direction. So that makes life a lot easier. You can always fix it later, but I'd rather not. Seed bead, crystal, and then I put like the 3-pointed side facing the crystal. You can do it any way you want. So since I want these loops to face the same direction, I am going to grab below my last bead and bend at a 90 degree. Para wire is actually soft enough if you want to bend by hand, you can actually do that. So again, trim so you've got a flush end here. And then of course, every tool that I have is here, except the round nose pliers, which is on the other end of my desk. And we are just going to take that down to the very end and roll that back. So I wanted to show you something. My online haste, these two loops don't exactly face the same direction. So I am going to fix that. So grab each of your loops with the chain nose pliers and just gently twist them. See, same plane. All we got to do now is assemble. So we can open our simple loop just by twisting it open. Thread on, I was just making sure I wanted the end where I finished it to be facing the back. Our briolette that we've wrapped. And then close our simple loop. And then I'm going to open the simple loop there, but I feel like my earring has a little bit of a gap in it, so I'm going to just shut that. And then I am going to find the end, twist it open, put my earring on, and that is the direction I want it. And close it. And let me move some of these tools away. So these are actually pretty light. They're not too heavy. They're kind of antique statement looking. I did use an antique copper ear wire here. And this pair of wire, I believe, was actually like a bronze color, but they seem to match better. So I don't know. Sometimes when you get away from silver, the metals are a little different and funky. So again, let me see if I can do this. I can get these on my hand so I can show them off a little better. I have a small hand, so forgive me. So these are the finished pair of earrings. And I hope you enjoyed watching how I make them. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.